Hi, my name is Lexi Jong and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about skincare, specifically Chantecaille skincare. Now, a couple weeks ago I released a video called Skincare Part 1 where I talked about some of the products that I've used long term for the past a little bit over a year. And so those are some things that I used for a long time, things that were my favorites and so forth. So if you haven't checked that out, please do so. Now, for the past couple of months, I have been integrating some Chantecaille items into my skincare routine. And for the past 5 weeks or so, it's been all Chantecaille. And I wanted to kind of give these items as thorough of a test as I can. Now, I have been loving Chantecaille makeup for years. It's probably my favorite cosmetic brand. If I had to really narrow it down, I'd probably pick Chantecaille. However, as much as I gravitate towards their makeup, I have never really tried their skincare. I was talking to Angela Rogers, who's an executive at Chantecaille one day, and I mentioned that I haven't really tried any of the skincare, and she sent me some samples so I could test it out. So Angela was kind enough to send me the samples in this beautiful hummingbird bag, and today we're gonna go over all of the things that she sent me. So most of these samples are from her, and I have a couple that I got with purchase from the Chantecaille website, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Before we go over these specific items, I'd first like to go into my skin history a little bit. My skin is primarily normal, but I do lean a little dry. During the summertime, dryness really isn't too much of an issue usually. I live right outside DC and it gets really hot and humid during the summer, so dryness isn't typically an issue for me at this time of year. For the past couple of years, my skin has been pretty good. It's been pretty resilient, but several years ago, I did have a pretty bad allergic reaction to some makeup in particular, and after that, I totally disrupted my moisture barrier, and I had to I just basically couldn't use anything on my face for quite a while. So I had to rebuild that moisture barrier, and I'm always very cautious about trying new skincare products. In the past, I have had issues with some retinol and retin A type products and so forth. So I am pretty cautious about what I use, and I really do kind of try to start small and work my way up to using something full strength. The reason I'm mentioning this is because I started integrating some of these products slowly into my routine before adding new ones, just to make sure I didn't have any sort of reaction to anything. And I'm happy to say I didn't have any issues with any of the items today. I have been fully testing the Chantecaille skincare for about 5 weeks, and I started integrating things in a couple weeks before that. So let's go ahead and get started with the items that I have used. First up, we have the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser, and I received this sample from Angela. This is 8 milliliters or 0.27 ounces, and I left the actual tube downstairs. I have used that all the way up already, but yeah, I forgot to bring that up. So anyway, let's go over the texture of this product. They call it a foaming cleanser, but it's not gonna be foaming like, foaming hand soap. So really it feels more like a light cream cleanser. So you know how a lot of cream cleansers, when you put them on, they feel kind of thick, and then sometimes you have that film left on your face after you rinse off? This does not do that. This feels like a lighter version of a cream cleanser, but when I use it, it really doesn't leave my skin feeling stripped or filmy afterwards. It feels really nice. So I love the texture and the base of this cleanser. However, this cleanser does have bits of rice in it. This is the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser. So there are little bits of rice. However, they are not very densely populated throughout the cleanser. So when you use the cleanser, you'll feel little bits of it, but honestly, they don't really feel rough or anything, and there aren't a ton of them. So it doesn't feel like an exfoliating cleanser. It's not, it's not as densely populated with those little pieces of rice as you would expect from an exfoliating cleanser. So, that's fine. But for me personally, I really love the base on this. I love the way it makes my skin feel, but I'm just not really fond of having the little bits of rice in there. So I won't be purchasing the full size of this. However, if they used rice water instead of the bits of rice, I would purchase that. I'd prefer it to be smoother. Next up, we have the Chantecaille Eau de Rose de Mai, and this is the pure rose water. This is the travel size bottle, and this is a glass bottle. And it's 30 milliliters or about 1 ounce. And I really like this. I actually have rose water from another brand that I use, you know, pretty frequently, but the mister on that's it's large droplets. So I don't really like to use it that much. It's not as pleasant. And honestly, this scent, it's very pure. I mean, Rose de Mai, that particular rose is a special rose. I believe it only grows in Cannes, France. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's where it's grown, and it's one of those rare roses that doesn't bloom frequently. I believe it like blooms once a year or something like that, and that's what they use in here. So it's really nice. I mean, you can see I've been using it, but I've been careful not to use too much, but this is what I would use after cleansing. You know, I'd spray my face, and I'm not sure if you can see, let's see if you can see the spray. So it's a fine mist. It's not super, super fine. I have definitely felt a finer mist before from products, but it is pretty fine. And honestly, I like the amount that you get from here. It's very refreshing. So I do really like this. I don't know how necessary it is, but I really enjoy it. And they do sell this in different size bottles, and some of them come in, you know, the plain glass bottle like this, but there are also like more decorative bottles as well. Let's move on to one of my favorite products. This is the Stress Repair Concentrate, and this is 3 milliliters or 0.1 ounce. And this is their eye and lip contour cream. So I regularly use the Sisley eye and lip contour gel. I have used the eye and lip contour cream from them, and this is kind of like the same idea. You can see I don't have too much left in here, but it's a slightly thinner consistency than the Sisley in my opinion, but it's very moisturizing. So I like to put this on under my eyes, and I don't usually put it around my lips. I'll do that sometimes at bedtime, but I like to put whatever's left of my fingers on top of my lips. I don't know if technically that's a good idea or not, but it really does leave them feeling moisturized. So I really enjoy doing that. This product for me, it really does kind of leave enough moisture under my eyes without feeling greasy or anything. It works well under makeup, and I think it helps combat some of the puffiness. So I really, really like this, and I would definitely repurchase this in a full size because this is really nice. I think it's one of my favorite eye creams that I have used. Another sample that I got, I really wanted to try this. This is the Nano Gold Energizing Eye Serum, and it comes in this little tube, and it says it's 3 milliliters. Unfortunately, my sample seems to be empty. I haven't been able to get anything out of here. So I wouldn't normally talk about that because I'm sure it was just an error, but I wanted to show you the packaging on this because even the sample, you know, comes with this little gold ball, and it's not completely empty. You can see there's like a tiny bit here, but nothing's really coming out. Like I don't feel any real liquid coming out. I've tried, you know, keeping the bottle upside down and so forth, but regardless, using this little ball with even just the Stress Repair Concentrate, and you can kind of see that I have done that. You can see a little bit of the concentrate left on there, but it's really cooling and nice. So I'm definitely still interested in trying this. So I would potentially purchase this, but I'd really prefer to get a sample of it first. So I think it's really cool. I like the package and I'd like to try it, but I can't comment on the actual formula of this. Let's follow that up with the Chantecaille Rose de Mai oil. This is the face oil. And I went through one of those little bullet samples, and then I also have one of these little samples as well. So this is the oil. You can see I've used, you know, not tons from here. You don't really only need like 1 to 2 drops at a time, but at night I would put this on. So I would just get a little bit in my hands and just kind of tap it on. I love rose oil, and I also have the Sisley Black Rose oil, and I really like that one too. Now, between the two of them though, I actually prefer this one. This one is a little bit lighter in texture. It doesn't feel quite as thick or viscous as the Sisley one does. I really like both of them, but the Sisley one I pretty much use just during the cooler months when I need a little bit more. And this one I could use year round. So I think the texture on this is really nice. I think it's a great medium weight thickness to the oil. And I really, really like this oil. So this is definitely a win for me. Let's discuss the Rose de May cream. And I went through like a small jar of it, and then this one is just about out as well. And they call this a cream, but I really think of it more as a gel. I don't even know if you can see that's such a small amount that I have left here, but it is a very lightweight, thin texture. And honestly, when I started using it, I didn't think it would be hydrating enough. The first ingredient in this is the Rose de May water. So yeah, let me double check that. Yes, it's the Rose de May flower water. And so it has a strong rose scent to it. It is not added fragrance. It is part of the actual ingredients. One of the primary features of Chantecaille skincare is instead of using plain water, they use the Rose de May water. And so you get some extra benefits from rose water instead of regular distilled water. What this cream says, it says it's a modern hydrator infused with botanicals that hydrate and cocoon the skin, leaving it looking smoother and more radiant. Rich in plant stem cell extracts that moisturize to help fight free radical damage and soothe the skin, softening the look of redness for face and neck. It's 86% natural. I ended up actually really enjoying this cream. As I mentioned, I didn't think that I would like it the first few times, actually the first week or so that I used it. It just felt very lightweight. I didn't think it was going to be hydrating enough. The first couple times I applied it, I felt like my skin still felt a little dry, but my skin adjusted to it. So after I used it for a few days, I could definitely tell that it was moisturizing enough. I don't think it'd be hydrating enough for me to use year round, but definitely during these warmer months. And I actually really like it. It goes on well underneath makeup, and it sinks into my skin. So it doesn't stay there. It doesn't feel like I have a coating on my skin. It takes a few minutes to sink in, but after that, it really feels very natural. Another moisturizer that I tried is the Bio Lifting Cream. So this sample is 5 milliliters, and this one is a bit more firming. It's definitely a thicker textured cream. So this one is more moisturizing, and this would be the moisturizer I would use during the winter months. I'd say it's medium weight. If you have super dry skin, you probably still need something more than this. But for me, this would probably be sufficient. And if I needed more moisture, I could add in some of the rose oil. As to any lifting or anything with that cream, honestly, I didn't use it long enough to really tell. I used it for a few weeks, but I didn't notice anything. So for me, it just felt like a really nice, medium to heavy duty moisturizer. So I liked it. I wore it primarily at night because it is a little bit thicker. So I didn't really need that much moisture during the daytime right now. This is a little sample I had of the retinol product. This is the Retinol Intense Plus. And I had about 3 uses from this, and all I can say is I didn't have any sort of bad reaction from this. It went on nicely, no strange smells or anything like that. And it didn't affect my skin negatively. I didn't use it long enough to tell if there were any, real benefits to using it, but it's definitely something I would consider if I were looking for a retinol product, just because it was gentle on my skin. However, I would go through a comparison of other retinol products before deciding to purchase something like this. I know most people who use retinol do tend to go with a prescription retinoid, and that would be another option as well. So this one, I probably wouldn't end up purchasing, but it was nice to try to see that my skin does not have a bad reaction to this, because in the past I have had issues with retinol and vitamin A derivatives. So it was good to see that my skin tolerated this. I also got a sample of this Bio Lifting Serum Plus, and this actually I had quite a few uses from this because I didn't really have to use too much at once. And I would put this on underneath the Bio Lifting cream, and I really liked this. So if I decide to purchase full sizes, I would get this and the cream and definitely pair them together. So I did enjoy this. Again, I didn't have enough uses to tell if there was any sort of, long-term effect. However, when I put this on, I could feel like it felt like a little bit of a tightening effect. Not like tightness due to drying, but maybe it was like lifting or something, or making my pores look a little bit better. So I did feel some sort of sensation. So maybe with long-term use, I would notice some effects from this. So this is something I would purchase. I also tried this. This is the Blanc Gardenia Brightening Essence. And I actually haven't finished this one up. I've used it 3 times, but it has a very strong alcohol scent to it. So I really don't like the smell of it. And honestly, it gave me a little bit of a stinging sensation, probably due to the alcohol. It didn't like burn or have any sort of like bad appearance on my skin or anything, but I'm just not a fan of it. So this one, I do not plan on purchasing. And again, this is the brightening essence. I was really looking forward to this, but yeah, not for me. Some of my favorite products that I tried out were actually the masks. And I've gone through a few of these little sample packets of this. This is the Jasmine and Lily Healing Mask, and it says to leave this on for 15 minutes and then you rinse it off, but you can also leave this on overnight. So that's what I did. I primarily put this on more like a heavy duty moisturizer at night. So I wouldn't like completely cover my skin with it so you can see it. I kind of blend it in a bit and leave this on overnight. And I really like this. It was a very moisturizing mask. And, in a way, it reminded me of the Black Rose mask from Sisley. This one doesn't feel as thick as that, but the appearance of my skin afterwards was pretty similar. So honestly, I like both products. I think the Sisley Black Rose might be a little bit more moisturizing, so better for me during the winter. And this would probably be better for me all year. This is something I definitely would purchase a full size of. Another mask that I really like and plan on getting a full size of, this is the Hibiscus Smoothing Mask. And this is going to be one with alpha hydroxy acids in it. So I really like this. I think it's, it's a nice light exfoliator, a chemical exfoliant, and I think it made my skin look a little bit brighter and smoother. So I really liked it. Some of the main ingredients on this are hibiscus flower acids, papaya fruit extract, and alpha hydroxy acids. They also have grapefruit extract for vitamin C and so forth. So you're supposed to leave this on for 3 to 10 minutes and then you take it off with warm water. Really, really enjoyed this. And then after using this, I typically follow this up with the Jasmine and Lily Healing Mask. So really love both of those. Definitely will get full sizes of those. And another mask that I have tried and really enjoyed is this Detox Clay Mask with rosemary and honey. And I really like this. This is a kaolin clay mask. You can kind of see that French blue kind of shade. It's like a bluish gray. And one of the things that I liked about this is that it doesn't harden and crack on your skin. So when you apply this, it still stays moist. So you can still kind of move your mouth and everything without worrying about cracking. It absorbs oil. They've got the rosemary to reduce the appearance of pores. Honey, chamomile, and jasmine are soothing and nourishing. So I found this to be a really nice mask to use. And yeah, I liked it. That sums up all of the Chantecaille skincare products that I have been testing out. And I think overall, it's a really nice brand. I really do gravitate a lot towards the makeup. And when I use skincare, I do try to stick. I like to have my routine all with the same brand. I feel like the chemists and people who have created it really make those products to work synergistically with each other. So, You know, right now I'm finishing up some things from my old routine, some older products that I'm going to test out. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to go with, whether I will end up going with Chantecaille or Retreve or continue with Sisley. So I will update you guys in the future once I decide what I'm going to go with. But I do think that this is a viable option, and there are definitely some really nice products here. If you have tried any of these items, please let me know your thoughts, or if you are a current user of Chantecaille skincare, I would love to know what you guys think. And I hope this video was helpful. So if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.